Hi everyone, welcome to Board of Tanks with stewiejp. I'm Stewie and this is the Tier 9 British heavy tank, the Conqueror. This is a double shot of British action. I've had to mix it up a bit this week because patch 9.7 is just around the corner and I really want to get rid of some of my 916 replays before the patch updates, just in case I lose a few of them. Now, game one of this British double shot replays by our old mate MatchyHK from DPX clan, and he's driving his Conqueror, the Tier 9 British heavy tank. He's already sent me a message saying that he absolutely loves this tank and he can't wait to get the 215B, the FV215B, the rear turreted British heavy tank. Speaking of British heavy tanks, I would absolutely love it if anyone from Wargaming is listening. Bring out another one. Need more than one Tier 10 British heavy tank. Anyway, Matchy is playing Erlenberg on assault, and it's his job to attack the enemy side. So he's not stuffing around. These games only go for 10 minutes, and there's only 9 minutes left to go. So he's going straight up the 1-2 line, and he's going to try and make sure that his team, he's got plenty of backup. He's got plenty of people sniping from G1, and he's got these slower heavies on their way, but he's going up there. He's already picked up 700 hit points of damage, and without giving too much away, this is a pretty quick game. Now Matchy's getting stuck right in there. He's done 1160 hit points of damage. He won't get a shot on that light tank. That light tank's going to run away like a little girl, which is exactly what a light tank should do. Picks up his first kill, taking out the Tier 7 Japanese tank, and he's using the accurate British gun to absolutely pound these enemy tanks into submission. Given the T-34B the respect it deserves, it does have a lot of armor and it also has a Tier 10 gun, so he needs to be reasonably respectful towards the Tier 8 American heavy tank as he pushes forward. He hasn't got a great deal of backup, but he wants the kill of that Jag Panther. Every kill counts in these games. He's picked up 2 kills, 2,000 hit points of damage, and he's waiting for that gun to reload. Even though the T-34 was angled, the penetration of this beautiful piece of British engineering will go straight through his hull every time with its 259 millimeters of penetration and 400 damage. That's just with standard rounds. Of course, premium rounds, or APCR, gives a little bit more penetration, 326, nearly 80 extra millimeters. Anyway, the T-34B, being very nice, very kindly, gives him the side of his hull. It looks like the T-34B also fired a shot, so Matchy would know that the T-34 doesn't have a very fast reload. So he puts a shot, snaps a shot into the commander's hatch, picks up a 4th kill of the game, 3,424 hit points of damage, and now he's looking for the T-54E1. The IS puts a shot in as well, and that light tank doing a very good job of distracting the E1 while Matchy can move in and pummel him with damage, making the score 7-2, picking up 4,150 hit points of damage and 5 kills. And he's only just begun. There's still 8 enemy tanks left. Out of the 7 tanks killed, Matchy's killed 5 of them. Now he's looking for anyone who might be camping the ridge line. Looks like someone fired towards him, but the tank wasn't lit. And the AMX 1390 doing exactly the right thing and moving forward, trying to spot for the big British gun. Now it looks like a lot of the enemy tanks are on the southern side, which is 100% the wrong thing to do. This is a defense game. If the enemy tanks, there's nothing for the enemy to attack on the southern part of the map. All they need to do in this assault mode of the game is defend their base. Now, they can't defend their base from down here where the T10 is, unless he's trying to flank Matchy's side and take them all out on his own. Maybe that's what he's trying to do. Now that KV gets tracked, but Matchy not lucky enough to get a damaging shot in. Takes a big punch in the mouth from the Su-152 Tier 7 Russian tank destroyer. Didn't do a huge amount of damage, but of course it feels like you've had a brick thrown at your head when something like that hits you in the turret. Now he's looking for the T-54. T-54, you've got to respect it. It's a Tier 9 tank, and that'll be the last Tier 9 tank on the enemy side if they can get rid of it. Gets a shot into the 1390 while he's waiting, as does someone else, and the IS picks up the kill. Now he's only got 2 normal rounds left in his tank, our mate MatchyHK. He has pumped out a hell of a lot of damage. Sees the Chi-Ri, the T7 Japanese tank with a massive gun depression. And he thinks there's a bit of easy damage. It looks like the T-54's already fired, so Matchy's wants to make the most of it, but he bounces his first shot. Going to do a little bit of side scraping around the corner here as he starts chipping away at the Russian Tier 9 medium tank. Looks like he's got pretty good repair skills on there. He knows his tracks will be repaired before the T-54 reloads. Takes him down to a one shot, and the 1390 takes him out of the game. The score's 11-2, 5,802 hit points of damage that we've seen, as well as 5 kills, and Matchy would dearly love to pick himself up a top gun in this replay on Erlenberg. 20 seconds to go before the cap timer comes out. Chi-Ri's not even going to get out of the way, but RNG, what the hell was that, says Matchy. That one just went straight into the dirt. Even though it was fully aimed, he desperately wants his kill low. Just misses out. There's 5 seconds before it caps out. Is he going to get off the cap so Matchy can get a top gun? 1 second to go. It's the SU-152. He aims, puts another shot in, and leaves him on 32 hit points. That's absolutely heartbreaking for our mate MatchyHK in the Tier 9 Conqueror, the beautiful British heavy tank. But even though he didn't get the top gun, he had an absolutely beautiful game there. You can see he's picked himself up an Ace Tanker Mastery Badge spotter for doing all that spotting because he was so aggressive at the early stages of the game. Bruiser, fighter, fire for effect, and shell proof, having the total damage blocked by armour exceed the hit points of his vehicle. And of course, as so often happens, that shell proof badge comes with the steel wall medal, at least 11 hits, doing over 1100 hit points of potential damage in the big Conqueror Tier 9 British heavy tank. Obviously a high caliber. Look at all these tanks that he spotted. Gave assisted damage to, damaged and killed 6,580 hit points of damage, caused an absolutely carried that game. 1,723 base experience. That's massive. That's probably the biggest base experience score I've seen for a very long time. 24 shots, 21 hit. That shows how accurate this heavy tank gun is, and 18 did damage. 2,840 hit points of block damage and 3,157 spotting damage. That's why he had such a healthy profit of 58,000 credits in the Tier 9 tank. As we move on to the second battle in this double shot of MatchyHK action, and this time it's another British tank, and he's driving around in the Centurion Action X, or the CAX as I like to call it with my friends. And he's platooning with his old mate Onsun, and I'm sure Matchy will let me know the proper way to pronounce his name quite soon. He's on Ruhenberg. It's a standard battle, and he's getting nice and aggressive. You can see he's got a couple of marks of excellence on his British barrel there, and he's trying to pick up his first kill, take out that AMX 30, the Tier 9 lowly armoured French thing. But the Batchat looks like the Batchat's having a red hot go. And the Centurion Action X. Some people don't like British tanks. I love them. It's got a very, very handy gun. He's already picked up 833 hit points of damage in 2 shots. And it's nice and accurate too. Very nice tight aiming circle. He's getting quite aggressive, doing some good spotting for his team. He's already picked up some spotting damage and really wants to make sure his team can aggressively push this 890 line. Now APCR is the standard ammunition in the Centurion Action X, or the CAX, which will give 390 hit points of damage, 268 penetration, and of course it's got the heat, which does 330 penetration. He's also got some high explosive ammunition loaded there. Let's see if he uses it against any of those light tanks. Now the score is 1 apiece, and Matchy's starting to move forward now. Nice tight aiming circle in the British Tier 10 medium tank. He's auto-aimed at the AMX 30. He's only on not many hit points, but he sees an opportunity to put some damage into the grill. And of course, if you put damage into the grill driver's going to panic and hopefully make another silly mistake. Takes the grill down to a one shot. And he's hoping to pick up the kill on the grill. Kill on the grill. That rhymes. But anyway, here comes Matchy. 2 kills, and now it looks like a lot of the enemy tanks have come back to where Matchy is, which will suit him because it'll give him even more damage. That makes 2,000 hit points of damage for his 2 kills. And a hell of a lot of spotting damage as well. He just needs to be... Well, the Object 140 needs to be really careful. Now, it does flick around a lot in this replay. Apologies if it's hard on your eyes, but it's still a replay worth sharing. Gets a shell into the IS-7, the big Russian Tier 10 heavy tank. And just looking for opportunities here. Throws a shell towards the AMX 1390, but that AMX 1390 has run away and is never going to be seen again. He's probably going to run away into the next map. Now Matchy's going to relocate here. His mate on 9999 Sun is in the middle of the map, and he's probably chipping away at those enemy heavy tanks that are down the 1-2 line. And he's probably thinking that's a bit of a stalemate down there, Matchy. Don't stay down there for too long. Need to put some damage into these blokes as well. We need to spread the love and give as much enemy tanks a few shells as you can. 2 marks of excellence already on the Cax, and you can see why he plays this tank like an absolute champion. I do like mine though, because I do have my Cax crew in a number of British premium tanks, so their crews are pretty good. Now it looks like the enemy are starting to claw it back now. It's 5-4, and Matchy knows if he can take this big German tank out of the game, the big Jagdpanzer E100, that'll make all the difference. Always good to get rid of a tier 10 tank on the enemy side. Looks like that American tank's already fired, so Matchy takes the opportunity to throw a shot into his side, and he's going to give him his side again, tracks him as well, and the IS-3 takes out the big American heavy tank. Now, it looks like a lot of the enemy tanks are sort of, I don't know, are they turtling or are they just sort of getting into some really weird positions? Picks up kill number 4 with the Spic, the Sparpanzer IC or 1C. And there's that FV4005. Be careful of that gun, Matchy. That is a massive gun on the British tank destroyer. Not sure if you can see where he's aiming. Looks like he was aiming it on Sun then, but that's why Matchy wasn't really worried too much. And now a bit of tag team coming right up. On Sun making the E3 turn his tank that way, which is going to give Matchy some beautiful shots into his rear. He does take a shell from the 1390. That looks like the 1390 might be reloading, or is he just running away? Because that's what 1390s do. 15-6 was the final score. 5 kills for our mate MatchyHK in what ended up being anything but a close game. But with the Centurion Action X, or the Cax as I like to call it, it's an Ace Tanker Mastery badge from our mate MatchyHK from DPX clan. Bruiser, Fighter and Fire for Effects. Look at all those tanks that he damaged. He absolutely had a blinder in that game. 4,928 hit points of damage. The Object 263 had a good game as well, 5,000. And of course On Sun with 3641 damage for his 2 kills. 1,208 base experience was the score for Matchy's game in his Centurion. He fired 19 shots, 18 hit. That shows how accurate the gun is. And 15 did damage. That was enough for an ace tanker with 4,928 hit points of damage and 2,678 hit points of spotting damage. That would have been from Matchy being quite aggressive at the start of the game, getting the ridgeline in the centre of the map up near the eastern town. Handy profit too for a 5-minute game, 44,785 credits. That's with a premium account, and I don't recall him firing any premium ammunition. That could be why. But all in all, an awesome couple of games from MatchyHK featuring the Conqueror Tier 9 British heavy tank, and wrapping up the double shot of British tank action. It's a Centurion Action X, the Tier 10 medium tank. One of my favourite tier tanks in the game. Thanks for the replays, Matchy. Everyone, don't forget to check out Matchy's YouTube channel as well. Link will be in the video description. Thanks for watching, everyone. Take care, and I'll see you all next time.